interim, what's helpful to me as an instructor, I work with people with different mobility and cognitive issues. So I also work with people in studios. I've been a long-term care nurse and stuff. So I have, and my mom had MS for 30 years. So I've been around mobility and cognitive issues for most of my life. And as an instructor, it's really nice or helpful to know, especially because I can't physically be there, if anybody will be doing the entire practice from a chair. Knowing that will help me. I do have a chair set up. I also do yoga off the wall and the floor. So pretty much every pose that I do, I give the option to do from one of those three places. So if you have any pain or mobility concerns or any of that kind of stuff, you can let me know now, or you can stay on the call afterwards. We can chat about some things that might help or ways to approach different poses. 1 minute to go. Cool. Alicia, do you have everybody muted? No, I don't think you do. I think they have themselves muted. Okay, never mind, because there's one person who isn't, and that's totally cool. No, you don't have to mute yourself yet. The only the only time I ever ask that we is kind of if there's a lot of noise in your background, dogs or kids or life, or if you want to play your own music, you can. I don't play music in my classes because I find that it distracts. That being said, it's a personal preference for you guys, and if you really enjoy that, then I would mute yourself and you can put your phone on to some yoga music. Alicia, do you want to say anything before I kind of start things?
Well, we hope everyone had a good weekend. Here, I'll put myself on so you can see who I am. So I'm Alicia, the event and fund development coordinator here in Calgary, but I support the province. So just welcoming everyone. We're glad to see we can still reach you at home to help you live well, whether you have Parkinson's disease yourself or maybe your care partner. But I can answer any questions in the chat or always fire them to Sarah later. But I'll just be behind the scenes there speaking and replying back for us.
And Alicia, if there's anything that you need to flag me on during class, just turn your video back on if you could, and then kind of wave at me. Sure. And then I'll know you're trying to talk to me.
Okay, sounds good.
The other reason I don't play any music is I find that sometimes from a sound quality or feedback, it can get very disruptive during a Zoom class. I am more of a traditional yoga instructor, so when I was trained in yoga, we did 2 hours in silence. Traditionally, that's how yoga is done, it's just so you can just quiet the mind and be in the moment. So that's on my end, you won't hear any music. So I'm going to start off by saying thank you for taking the time out of your day to explore this class. My name is Sarah, and I have been teaching yoga for about 8 years, but I've been a fitness instructor for 30 years. So I come from a fitness background. That being said, as my body started to change in the mind and physically, I needed something to help with those changes, the aches, the pains, the immobility that I was experiencing. So I turned to yoga 8 years ago. My why is because my mom had MS and was in a wheelchair for 30 years. She had chronic progressive MS, and the changes with my mom with the disease, what she could do and couldn't do, it depended on the day and where she was at. So I wanted to help people like my mom to find a place where they could feel more at ease, peace, and less pain. And so by doing gentle yoga classes and providing lots of options for people, I have found that anybody can do yoga. My mom has now since passed, and for quite a few years was actually quadriplegic, but she still benefited from a lot of the work and the small motion movements that she could do. So that's my wife. I've also been a long-term care nurse, so I've worked with people with both cognitive and physical disabilities from that perspective, and I currently teach specialty classes. So I'm certified to do chair yoga. I'm a yoga certified 500-hour yoga therapist as well. So working with people with exceptionalities is my passion. Is my passion. I would ask that all of you who are participating today, please, first and foremost, listen to your body. Do what feels right and good for you, because your body knows best. And if you honor that, then the body will be kinder back. Please listen to any, trying to say the right word, anything your doctor or medical practitioners have suggested to you to do or not do, listen to that, okay? If at any point during the practice you are in pain or you're feeling dizzy or lightheaded, please come out of the pose and get into a safe pose, a seated position, whether that's, if you're in a chair, stay in the chair, obviously, but to the ground. And after class, I'm gonna open the door here for any questions about certain poses or approaches. As well, I am available should you wish to reach out to me separately and ask me. I am more than happy to give you some things that you might want to even do at home on your own. So that's where I'm coming from. A big part of my practice is breath work. My experience is by doing nice deep breath work, you can calm your nervous system, you can calm your brain, and then the body starts to calm down too. And interestingly enough, this morning on Global, they had a psychologist named Dr. McLeod on there talking about breath work and how by doing nice deep breath work, you can get out of fight and flight and panic in the brain into more of a calm state. And I thought that was so great to hear that from a psychologist. So in our practice today, we will start with breath work. We'll move into joints and glands and some poses. Because this is the first time we're going to be working together and I haven't had a chance yet to get to know you all, I'm going to keep our poses fairly simple. That being said, as we get to know each other, we may try some different things. Okay. Before we begin, if anybody does have any questions or concerns, I wanted to say you can unmute yourself at the bottom left-hand corner, as this is a time for that. And also, if you have any requests to kind of work on specific body parts, I'm open. I'm all yours. Lucky you. I don't know. Anyways, so I'll just take a moment if anybody has anything right now. I hear somebody talking in the background. So if you know there's some talking in your background and you haven't muted yourself, you may want to do that. Alrighty, so we're going to begin either in seated position, in or out of a chair. If you do have a chair and you find that you do get a little bit dizzy or you could be weak, you may want to have just a kitchen chair. It's nice to have that kitchen chair either on the carpet or if you have a yoga mat to have it on there, because if you are on a slippery floor, the last thing I want to have happen is that chair to slip. The other thing you could do is put the chair against the wall. Okay, if you don't need it, that's fine. I will show poses from it. So from the chair, from seated or lying down, I invite you to start to close your eyes and find your breath. And if you're able to, close your mouth and breathe through your nostrils. And if you're stuffed up today, don't worry about it. Just breathe through your mouth. Noticing the quality of your breath. As you inhale, bringing in a cooling breath, an external breath. And in yoga, we call this prana. And as you exhale, exhaling out an internal heated breath, prana. If you're able to, start to move into more of an even inhale and an even exhale. Smoothing the breath out. Relaxing your tongue off the roof of your mouth, allowing your jaw to soften. And this triggers a calming response in the nervous system. So knowing this anytime you feel tension or anxiousness can be very helpful in the day-to-day life. Softening around the forehead, the temples, the eyes, softening down into the cheeks, the nostrils, the lips and the chin. Moving that softness and relaxation down the neck and into the shoulders. And as you move into the shoulders, allow the shoulders to come down away from the ears and closer to the earth. Letting go of subconscious tension held there. Relaxing down the spine, starting at the base of the skull and moving down one vertebrae at a time. And as you move down the spine, allow the muscles that support the vertebrae to soften. And when you get to the tip of your tailbone, moving your awareness to the front of the body. Softening and relaxing down through the collarbones, the chest, the ribs, and into the hips. And as you move into the hips, you may just shift a little bit in through the hips and lower back area and observe if there's any sort of resistance or tightness there. And as you exhale, release and let it go now. Relaxing down the arms, the elbow joints, the wrist joints, and into the hands. And as we move into the hands, you can hold them still, or you could do a tension release exercise with me now. As you inhale, making a fist as tight as it feels good for you. And as you exhale, open it up, the hand up, and wiggle the fingers. Let go of any kind of tension in the hands. Inhale, squeeze as tight as you'd like. Exhale, release, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let it go. One more time. Exhale, release. Beautiful. You can even shake out your arms a little bit. Whew. Some of you might feel that. Beautiful. Bringing your breath and your awareness back into the body from the hands and moving down your legs, your knee joints, down into the shins, the ankle joints, and the feet. And on your next breath, your next inhale, bring your breath and awareness to your center, your belly. As you inhale, allow your belly to rise and expand. And as you exhale, empty your belly out. If you are new to belly breathing, you could always take one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and see if you can feel the belly rising and falling with the breath. As we transition away from short, shallow chest breath into a deeper diaphragmatic belly breath. Inviting a deeper calmness into the nervous system, the brain. If you are able to, see if you can start to lengthen out your exhale longer than your inhale. Not forcing the breath. Some of you might be able to even double the length of the exhale. So go to where it feels right and good for you. This is the breath that we're going to allow ourselves to use through the practice. This will be our guide. So at any point through practice, if you become distracted or thoughts or emotions pop in, that's cool. Acknowledge them. See if you can let them go and come back to the belly breath. Knowing that this deep belly breath, just even 6 of these breaths during a time of pain or anxiety can help to reduce the busyness of the mind, the tension in the body. Hatha Yoga Nishasana, which means now we may begin the practice of yoga. So if you are lying down, if you could bend your knees, just roll onto your right side. We are going to start the practice on the ground. That being said, if you are in a chair, I will give options for the chair as well. Okay? So if you are in seated position, you could come, lie down, and go onto your side as well. And as we're on the side, we're breathing up and down the side of your body. And just being in that position with the breath can feel really nice. Give a little bit of a different alignment to the spine. And then from here, if you can make your way onto your back. If you're in the chair, you stay in the chair. And from here, we're going to go into a reverse child's resting pose. So I'm going to start on the ground, and then I'm going to work into doing this from the chair. So bending the knees, bring your right leg towards you, and then your left. You can interlace your fingers around your thighs or your shins, depending on how your knees feel today. And from here, if you're able to gently draw your knees towards you, if the back and the hips and the knees say it's okay. Exhale, release. You can continue to do that as you kind of start to wake up your spine and your hips, giving them a good stretch. But what you're also doing is you're getting into the internal organs as well, getting rid of some of the toxins in the body. And if you're in a chair, you could take your hands underneath the right leg or wrap it around the shin and gently draw the leg towards you. Now, you could do both, but that might be a little challenging, or you could do one leg at a time. You do the same thing from the floor. Now, from here, if you are on the floor and you want to give yourself a little bit of a massage to the lower back, you can just gently rock side to side. If you're in the chair, it's a little harder to do that one, and I would stay with Bringing alternative legs up, and just, you could do a little rotation though with the hip. And I would do probably one leg at a time, like this. Okay. And that gets really nice mobility in both poses or approaches to the pose into the joint, hip joints. Now, from here, if you'd like, you can take your hands on your knees and just do little circles one way. So we're getting a little bit more into the glutes, a little higher up the back. Those of you in the chair, now you can take your hand on your knee and do one leg, and then those of you on the ground, change direction with the circles. If you're in the chair, you're going to take little circles both directions and then change legs. Okay? Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to take our hands, if you don't have them on the knees, put them on the knees and gently draw your knees apart and your big toes are touching. And I might shift around on the mat a little bit just to give you guys different angles, okay? Now I'm going to take both hands on the inside of my legs and place them on the shins. If you're really tight, put a pillow or two even under your head, just so that you don't have to strain the neck to lift up and grab there. You go just below the knees as well. So taking your hands on your shins or your ankles or your knees, we're going to move into our feet, doing little circles one way. And this helps to get us fluid into the ankle joints, but it helps us to lengthen in through the ligaments and tendons in that area of the body. If you are in the chair, you might shift forward so that you're halfway on the chair. If you would like to sit in a still hip opener, which is like a bound ankle, you could do that. Or you could place your left foot on the ground, right up, and just grab your right leg at about the shin or below the knee, and do the same thing as we're doing on the ground. If you can, you do both legs, okay, or one leg at a time. Now take circles the other direction. And so not only is this getting into the areas of the body that I talked about, but you're also getting your brain to be in touch with that area of the body by making that conscious connection or pathway. And that's really good. Then that area of the body might function a little better. Now from here, we're going to move into a point and flex move with our feet. So point, bringing tension to the foot, and then release, flex. Those of you in the chair, make sure you do both sides, rolling the ankles. Okay, and then if you want to point and flex, same idea. As we point, we're bringing tension into the foot, and as we flex, we're releasing it. Well, let's just take a few more rounds here. Good. Now from here, if you're able to gently draw the feet out a little bit more and the knees down, we get a little bit more into the hips. If today that's, you're like, that's as wide as I go, stay there, that's okay. We're just gonna hold and breathe into happy baby. If you're in the chair, you're going to widen your legs a little bit. You can put your hands behind you and just bend the elbows and just gently shift forward. So you're putting a little bit more of emphasis into the pelvic area. You're going to get that nice stretch in the hip and groin area. Good. And on your next inhale, gently draw the feet back together, big toes touching, and your knees together. From here, bring both feet down to the ground. Now we're going to move into a little bit of a twist. In twist, depending on how tight the back or the hips are, you might want to have a couple throw cushions as supports in twist under your legs. So if you need to grab that or don't have them handy and you know that might be you, you might want to do that right now. But from here, we're going to bring the right leg up and wrap your right leg around the left leg. So a bit of a twist. Now from here, bringing both arms out to the sides of the body, teeing the arms. The other thing you could do, if your shoulders are okay with it, you can bring your arms over top of the head, either straightening or bending the elbows based on what your shoulders are telling you feels good. Okay? Now, from here, this is where I'm going to bring the knees to the left side. I'm going to change my angle. And if I knew that twisting all the way over just would not be a good idea for my spine, I'm going to put a couple throw cushions there and just do a gentler version of the twist. Now again, if wrapping your right leg around your left doesn't feel good, you could just stack knee over knee as well. Okay. From here, see if you can try to keep your right shoulder on the ground to the best of your abilities. And then allow that deep belly breath to flow up and down your spine. If I was in the chair, I would wrap my right leg around the left, take my right hand, the back of the chair, and gently lift the chest, then twist. Take my left arm across. Your eye gaze can go the opposite direction that the knees are bent. And if the neck says, okay, you can now start to turn your head, but only if there's no pain or discomfort. And see if here, you might be able to even deepen your breath a wee bit more. And as you do that, you may find that your body starts to release a little bit and you're able to open up a little bit more in the pose or shift slightly. Let's take one more breath here. And on your next exhale, gently, you can bring your arms down if you wish. Keep them at the sides or over top of the head because we're just going to switch the legs. So if you are on the ground, you take that right leg down. We're just switching legs. So from here, wrap the left arm around the right. You could change your arms, leave them where they are. You could put your cushions under the right side now if that's what you need, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. And then gently bring the knees to the opposite side and breathe. See if you can keep that left shoulder as far or as close to the earth as you can, or the ground. Okay. Those of you in the chair, switching legs. And then we're going to lift up the chest, exhale, and twist. Bend the back elbow so that you're not locking that back joint straight, the elbow joint. Now, as you let your gaze go to the opposite direction of the knees, that can help to exercise your eye muscles and create focus. So without even turning the head. As you inhale, you may decide to see if you have a little more expansion in the pose, or maybe this is where you back off a little bit and shift out of the pose. And know at any point in this practice, at any pose, you can rest and come out of pose. This is 150% your practice, not mine. Let's take one more breath here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, let's come back. On to back. Unravel your legs, bend your knees. If you can, take your right arm, not over top of your head if the shoulder hurts. You can, but bend the elbow a bit. And if that hurts, just lower the elbow down closer towards the center of your body, and then just gently roll over onto your right side. And take a few breaths here. And on your next inhale, gently, let's push ourselves all the way up to seated position. Good. All right, so in seated position, I wanted to get into the neck and shoulders a little bit more. A lot of us carry our stress and tension in here, and some of us may even get those tension or pressure headaches with the weather changing. I'm one of those people. So we're going to start in with a little bit of a neck massage. Now, if you are on the ground, you can stay in seated split. You could move into a bound ankle position with the soles of your feet together. The farther away your feet are from your pelvic area, the lower the knees will drop and the more the spine will lift and straighten. Okay, so if you're really close and you're way up like this, I would just suggest pushing your legs away. The other one I really, really like is a seated split. And what that does is it just allows you to kind of open up the groin, hamstring area. If this hurts your back and you still want to get this pose, just bend your right knee in and do a half seated split. Okay, so lots of options. Figure out what works best for you. Then from here, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, let the shoulders ease down. The shoulder blades come in and down. Now from here, gently tuck your chin towards your chest. And if the neck says okay, a gentle tilt to the right. Then tuck your chin in and tilt to the left. If the neck says okay, we can start to add little circles. If the neck doesn't like that, don't add the circles. And as we breathe into the pose, the motion of the pose, make sure we're still connected to that beautiful belly breath if you can. If those little circles feel good and you think you might want to try a little bit bigger and it feels okay, explore that. Let's call this one like a little self neck massage. Let's take a few more rounds. You can do this from the chair as well. And hold in the center. Now, from here, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Whether you're whatever leg position you chose, bound ankle, seated split, or a half split, we're going to move into a spinal twist. This one, as we're in seated position, is going to add a little twist more through the mid-thoracic spine and up, okay? So whatever leg position, or if you want to change that, you can. So inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, take your left hand behind you or to beside you and bend your back elbow. Now we're going to open up this little muscle between your shoulder and your chest. And what happens is we tend to, as we age or disease or stress, we tend to curl forward and this little muscle gets really tight. We want to create a gentle opening in that area to help realign the spine and get this muscle to kind of lengthen a little bit, tendons, ligaments. So from here, you go as far, as close to the body, the center of the body, as the shoulder is comfortable with. If there's pain, move it back away, okay? Now, from here, roll that back shoulder up, back, and down. Keep the back elbow bent. Inhale, lift the chest. Left arm up, exhale, and moving into seated twist. And breathe. So, from the chair, again, I'm going to be mostly on the chair, but just a little bit away, just so I have a little bit more space. Feet are hip distance apart. I'm going to take my left hand, grab the back of my chair. Inhale, lift, exhale, and twist. Now, in either position, now that you've taken a few breaths into the pose, see if there's space to roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And then maybe, if it feels okay, inhale, lift the chest, see if there's a fraction more movement in the twist. Or if you feel really good right now, stay where you are. Continue to breathe. Nice. On your next exhale, gently start to come out of the pose. Now from here, roll your shoulders a few times. maybe even side to side, and then just shake it out. Ooh, let it go. Working within the shoulders, a lot of time when we carry stress and strain there, it can feel like we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. After doing some shoulder releases, it can feel very relieving, hopefully. All right, so we're going to do the other side. So whatever position you're in, if you had one leg in, one leg out, I would switch your legs. If you are in seated split, you might want to try bound ankle. You decide, okay? It's all about you. Now, from here, and if you're in the chair, you're going to stay in the same seated position, but you're going to go to the other side. So inhale, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Then take your opposite hand behind you. This is a whole new shoulder. So you might have a different range. I want you to go to where this shoulder is at, not making it go to the same place as the other side, necessarily. Okay, so inhale, lift, lengthen the chest, then left arm up, exhale, untwist. Gently, remember you don't have to grab the other side of the leg. Go as intense into the twist as works for you, or as gentle as works for you. And breathe. I'm just going to show that from the chair as well. I know we all have different chairs at home. Just kind of work with what you have. Drishti travels behind you, that's your gaze. And in yoga, we call that drishti. And then possibly even turning the head if the neck feels okay with it. Come back to that beautiful internal breath, that belly breath. You may decide at this point that you want to shift and see if there's more room in the pose. So inhale, lift, roll the shoulders back, maybe a fraction more of a twist, maybe not. One more breath. On your next exhale, unravel out of the pose. And you can actually come into a seated position, crossing your ankles. If you're in the chair, you're going to stay in the chair because we're going to move into cat-cow. And cat-cow, I always describe it as like a wave of motion up and down your spine. It also helps to open up oxygen blood flow into that area, and it creates deeper calmness because the nervous system. Okay, so if you're in the chair, you're going to do cat-cow from the chair. Same idea, you're on the chair, but maybe slightly forward. If you have sensitive knees and you're going to do this one on the ground, you might want to put a throw cushion under each knee. That can feel a lot better, especially on a hard floor. Okay. As we settle into tabletop, so think of yourself as a table. Now, as far as your hand position goes, not everybody wants a flat palm. That can hurt the wrist. Sometimes you have tightness in the fingers, etc. So a couple options here. You can come up onto more of the pad, the top pad of your hand, and you're going to get more of an opening in the fingers that way. Or you could even make a fist with each hand. So kind of work with what's best. If that doesn't work for your wrists or your shoulders, move into the chair. Okay? So from here, let's inhale, lift the head up, roll the shoulders back, pressing the chest towards the earth, the floor, and your tailbone goes up to the sky. You could even lift the chin a little if the neck's okay with it. Take a few moments and breathe into cow. As you breathe into cow, notice any tightness or resistance in the body. And as you exhale, breathe it out and let it go. And then from here, let's roll in one vertebrae at a time, tucking the chin in, arching the upper back, chin towards the chest. Roll the belly to the rib cage. Your gaze goes to your thighs. Breathe into cat. When you're ready, inhale, open up to cow. If you are in the chair, You can do the same thing, hands on the knees. And as we inhale, lift the chest, hinge from the hip, come forward. Exhale, then roll in. Inhale, looks a tiny bit different, flat back. Exhale, roll. Flowing between cat and cow at your own pace and your own capacity. Just changing my angle a little bit just to show you what it looks like. Doing a couple of minutes of cat and cow a day can really have a huge calming effect on your nervous system and your energy for the day. Or anytime you're feeling anxious, you might want to do this just for a few minutes and see if it feels better. At any point, you know you can take a little break if you need it. Otherwise, let's do about 4 more rounds of cat and cow. When you've completed, you can move into a pose called hero pose or child's resting. Now I'm going to show it from the ground, then I will show it from the chair. Now from here, widen the knees. Again, you can have those cushions under your knees. Gently pull the sitting bones back towards the heels. If you have pain in your ankles, you might actually want to roll up a towel just really quickly. Just kind of thought of that. I always fold it in half and just make a little roll. And that could be that tightness in the ankles and feet. This could be a good alternative to that. And if you need to keep your feet, your toes curled because flattening your foot or your ankles up doesn't feel good, do that, okay? Now from here, walking the hands forward, lengthening the arms. If this hurts for the shoulders, just bring your knees in a little bit and wrap your arms around your legs. In either position, you can take a throw cushion and have your forehead on the cushion or cushions for a little extra support. If you were in the chair, you could do a forward fold and get a really nice stretch in through the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So inhale, lift, exhale, laying your chest on your quads, tucking the chin in. If I had another chair, I could even put my chair here and then lengthen, put my fingertips on the other chair. And if I was to turn my chair around, probably about 2 feet from the wall, I would send my sitting bones back and press my hands on the wall and just get a really nice opening right through the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So several variations. And on your next inhale, gently walk your hands up. Good. Now, if you don't want to sit on your knees, you don't have to. You can go into a seated position. But we're just going to roll our shoulders back a little bit. And from here, we're going to open up our shoulders now a little bit more. So this is, we didn't really talk about props. And this is where we're going to kind of evolve as we work together and I find out what you guys like. But you don't need props for any of my classes except if you need a chair. That being said, this next pose, we could use a tie, a scarf, or a strap if you want it, but you don't need it. So you can have your legs straight. If you want to get a good stretch in through your hamstring, this is called post pose or staff pose. Okay, and if you're going to do that, you might want to lift your sitting bones or, okay, I'm just going to say it, the fleshy parts away from each other. Some of you might not have those, I have lots. And so that your sitting bones are down towards the ground. Now, this doesn't always feel good for everybody's back. So in that case, I would bend my right knee and straighten my left. Okay, and from here, we're going to move into a little bit of a forward fold with or without cushions. Now, sometimes it's nice to have a couple of cushions just to support the back. You could even do like a couple of bed pillows and a throw cushion at the top, and do a really restorative propped pose. I do lots of those kind of classes too, but it's not what we were, just kind of ideas here. And as we do this, tuck the chin in. Again, one leg. If you were doing this from the chair, you could straighten your legs and just gently walk down the legs, tuck in. Again, if you would prefer to do one leg, you bend the right knee and just gently walk down the left. Breathe. Now, a couple things are happening here. We're getting a really nice opening and lengthening through the upper back, neck, and shoulders, potentially. We're also getting a nice stretch into the hamstring and behind the knee a bit. But the third thing that's happening in this is we forward fold, we're getting into the internal organs. Think of it as a wee massage. And you're breathing out, letting go of any sort of toxins. That being said, if any point in your practice you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or nauseous, you know to back off. Take a break, okay? Grab some water, whatever you need to do. Now, as we breathe into the pose, if you would like, you can lift the chest maybe a little bit, exhale, and maybe even deepen a fraction in the pose. And breathe. If you had one knee bent, at this time, I would switch legs. So have the other knee bent. Whether you're sitting in the chair or you're lying down, or not lying down, sorry, and seated, and breathe. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, staying where you are, a fraction deeper. We're only here for a few more breaths. On your next exhale, gently walk back up. If you had any throw cushions, just push them off to the side. Now, from here, I wanted to come up for a little bit. I could have done the whole class off the ground, but I think we should come up just for a wee bit if we can. That being said, if you are in the chair, everything we're going to do from up, you can do from the chair. Okay? So from here, come up to, we're going to do a forward fold. I'm going to do it one step at a time. You come up however it works best for you. I'm going to start in crouching tiger. This is good if you're okay with your knees. It's a nice little balance, but it's not for everyone. So if you want to come up into forward fold, so come all the way up and then gently bring your head down, you can, or you can go into crouching tiger. So this is crouching tiger, you're on the balls of your feet, you're tucking your chin in. Now, if that doesn't work for you, go into forward fold, tucking the chin in, bend in the knees. Those of you who might have some balancing issues, you might actually want to come to the chair, bend your elbows. You can walk the elbows a little bit away from you. Some of you might want to sit in the chair and just bend the knees out a little bit. Walk the hands a little bit away, getting a good stretch there. Now, if you are in crouching tiger, you can gently send the sitting bones up, heels down, and move into a forward fold. Deeply breathing. Any point if there is pain in the head, that can be from pressure headaches, you're going to come up very slowly using a chair or using your quads to come up. Or if you're lightheaded or dizzy. Okay? Then next exhale, slowly come up. If you're in the chair, just slowly curl your upper body up. And either being in standing position or at the chair. Okay, nice. Now, because I want to show every angle, you can come to the top of your mat if you're on a mat, but you don't have to be. What you do want is that your feet are hip distance apart. If you're in the chair, feet are hip distance apart. Just gotta make sure. There we go. Now everybody can see me. And then roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Open the palms, lift the heart. Closing the eyes or not closing the eyes. We're gonna ground ourselves in mountain pose or Tadasana. Tadasana is just the Sanskrit word. And breathe. Breathing from the crown of your head all the way down to the roots of your feet or to your tailbone. Back up again. On your next inhale, gently opening your eyes, whether you're in the chair or standing, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, shoulders down. If this hurts your elbows, you can bend your elbows and fingertips at the side of the head. That's going to take some of that pressure off, or somewhere in between. Now, from here, we're going to do something called side moon. So, with bent elbows or long arms, gently tilt to the right. As you do that, see if you can place your palms away from you and peel open your rib cage a little to where that shoulder's willing to go. Now from here, if you can, drop your shoulders down away from the ears and then just a slight opening. If your arms get tired, take a break, bring them down, shake them out. Exhale, and then let's move to the other side. Again, if you need to do a little roll, shake it out in between, do that. And then let's go to the other side. Still breathing from the belly. Shoulders down, opening up, changing the position of the arms if you need to. Exhale, come back. Maybe a breath or two more. Release. All right. So from here, we're going to move into a little bit of a work with the legs and the hips. We are kind of moving towards the end of practice, but I did just want to throw a few standing poses in the practice. It's always going to be a little different. But from Tadasana mountain pose, if you can, take a big step back with your right foot. And I want to show this from the chair and the wall as well. So big step back. Okay. I actually like to have my front heel or foot in a straight line with my middle of my back foot. That being said, if that doesn't feel good balance for you, take a little step out. It's okay. Bending your front knee, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Now you're going to turn your rib cage so that you are between two plates of glass. You're not facing the front, you're turned on the side. Okay. From here, bring your arms up, exhale, shoulders down. So we're in a warrior two position. My left knee is bent. If I were to do this from the chair, I would shimmy myself over to the left side of my chair, keep my left knee bent. I can take a hand onto my chair. And then I'm just going to bring my right leg back a little bit. Tuck the tailbone in so you're not hyperextending. You kind of got a little bit off the chair if you're okay with that, just so you have the space to bring that back leg back. And then if you want, you can bring your arms up and turn. Okay, so warrior two. If you are in standing position, you can gently drop your back heel down, bring your hands down, and then I'm going to get you guys to straighten your front leg. Those in the chair, I'll get there in just a moment, but if you want, you can hold that pose a little bit more. Bring your arms up, palms away, and then hinge from the hip towards the front leg. Place your hand on your shin just below the knee. Drop your bottom shoulder and peel open the top, triangle pose. You can let your gaze go to the ceiling. You could turn your head if you feel comfortable doing so. I like to put my hand on my shin because I feel like my back and hips are supported. And don't worry about, what's I going to say, touching the ground. Now from here, if you are in warrior two position, I would just change your angle a little bit. It's a little bit different. From here, though, I'm just going to go more into a seated split. For those in the chair, I'm just going to shift your pelvic forward to get that hip opening. There's a different way to do triangle from the chair, but because of time, I'm just going to do that one instead. Those of you in triangle in standing position, gently come back up, roll the shoulders back, bend your front knee, turn back to the front of your mat, step forward, and find Tadasana. And I'm sorry, the one thing I didn't show was the poses off the wall. If you don't need the chair and you want just a little bit of extra support, you can place your hands on the wall. Your foot's probably 6 inches from the wall, the front foot. So that's a way to use the wall as well, and I'll do that on the next side. So we're going to do these 2 poses on the other side, then we're going to wind back down. So in Tadasana, roll the shoulders, take a few breaths, and we're going to do the whole other side. So from the top of the mat, take a big step back with your left foot, okay? And then see if you can line up your left heel with your mid-back arch. Now, I'm just going to turn myself around because I don't want you guys to have to look at my backside. And then turn your body so that you're between the 2 plates of grass and bring your arms up. Another way to approach this pose to get into the legs is to move a little closer towards the wall. And in this pose, whether you're up against the wall or you're not, try to get your hips in a straight line with your shoulders. You don't want to lean forward in this one, so bend in through the knee. If I was on the chair, I would now have shimmy my feet over to the right side, bend my right knee and left knee is straight. Breathe. If your arms are up, if your shoulders are hurting, I want you to gently lower them or bring them down as we just take a few more breaths here. Now, on your next exhale, release the hands down, straighten your front leg. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, shoulders down. Now, pop your, literally, but send your back hip back, hinge from the hip, and maybe do triangle from the shin. So, hand on the shin. This left arm could go up, or you could put your hand on the lower back. For those of you in the chair, we're going to get into the hips a little bit of a different way. So from here, we're going to move to the center and then bring the legs out, hands on the chair, and just gently push through the pelvic slightly. You do not want to fall off your chair, so you want to make sure you're at least half on, and then draw the elbows back. Remember that beautiful breath. One more breath. And on your next exhale, bend your front knee, turn towards the front of the mat, and step forward to Tadasana as you take a few breaths here. And if you'd like, you can roll the shoulders. Maybe take a little step out, give a little rotation in through the hips. Let go of any residual tension, anxiousness, whatever, stress. And when you are ready, whether you're in the chair or standing, inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, let's forward fold. Keep a little bend in the knees. And just really relax the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Tucking the chin in. And then when you're ready, bend the knees, fingertips to the ground, and slowly make your way down to the ground. So we're going to move into about 4 minutes of relaxation, maybe 5 if you're willing to stay an extra minute. If that's okay, if you have to leave, that's cool too. I know we had a little bit more introduction going on today. So I invite you for relaxation. You can do one of 2 things. Now, you could do traditional Shavasana, which is lying on your back. You could put a pillow under your head. You could have a blanket there. Whatever feels good for you. Or if you want to try legs up the wall, it is so good for you. So if you have a piece of wall handy, if not, don't worry, I'll give you this option next week as well. But you get nice and close to the wall. So I'm going to give you an example. My right knee and my right shoulder are right up against the wall. I'm going to just shift a little bit away so I have room to bring my right arm up, bend my elbow, and I'm going to slide my elbow to the ground, forearm to the ground, and then I'm just going to gently swing my legs up. Okay, so in the accept the wall, if you're too close and it's too tight on the hamstrings, just push yourself away. If you need to shimmy yourself closer, you can do that as well. You can leave your arms along the side of the body. If you really want to open up the shoulders and this feels good, you could do it here as well. I like to keep the feet together for the purpose of relaxation. You could split too, but I wouldn't do that for relaxation. And find your breath. And I invite you, if you'd like, you can close your eyes. If you have an eye bag, you could put that on. I'm going to talk a little bit right after class about how to make a home eye bag that's so easy. And then just allow all the peaceful energy and the beautiful healing benefits in the body to flow through you and around you. And also just to let you know, when legs up the wall, it's really good because you're allowing the fluid in the legs to come down into the internal organs and pool. And it has some very amazing healing benefits to it. Wellness benefits. Just, if you'd like, taking this opportunity to observe how you came to practice to how you feel now in your body, your mind, and your spirit. And with each breath, just allow yourself to sink deeper towards the earth, into a deeper seat of body, mind, and spirit relaxation and peace. Now on your next inhale, gently bringing your breath and your awareness back to your physical bodies. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you are ready, gently rolling over onto your right side. And just take some nice, beautiful breaths up and down your side body. And at your own pace, when you are ready, gently pushing yourself up, coming to seated position. And once in seated position, palms up or down on the knees, relaxing the shoulders down, lifting through the heart. Close your eyes just for a few moments longer. As you breathe from the tip of your head, your crown, all the way down to the base of your spine, your root, and back up again. As you connect your higher self to your grounded self in unity, in balance, and in yoga. Keeping your eyes closed, gently rubbing your thighs, coming back to your physical body. Bringing your palms together, create a nice warm heat. Placing your palms over your eyes and opening your eyes to the warmth of your palms. Resolving in your mind, you will sit for the practice of yoga and meditation again. The peace, the healing, and the calmness you've created in your practice today will stay with you throughout the day, with your eyes wide open. Hands in prayer. Namaste. Thank you. I just wanted to mention something before you guys go. I think, Alicia, you said this was cool, or Emma, or somebody. I have, for the last 5 weeks, been running 10 free online Zoom classes a week because I can. I'm not able to work because I have a lung condition or be in public. So I have this beautiful space. I have the knowledge and the willingness. So if you guys want to join any of those classes, I'm going to keep doing it until as long as it's needed. I'm doing it for people with lots of special needs. I have a huge offering, meditation specialty, gentle, yin, all sorts of stuff for you and or your loved ones. So if you're interested in that, unmute yourself, let me know, or whatever, and I'll tell you where all the links are. I created a Facebook page for ease to do that. This is my way of trying to do my little part for a positive difference, I guess. So anyways, but if that's, or maybe I'll see you next week for this class again. So yeah, just let me know. Have a beautiful day, you guys. I hope you stay safe and well.
Thanks, Sarah.